have no control here. We can only control what we can. Not to let the anxieties outside in.
Make our way up.
I mean, for me, the experience of free climbing El Cap is about coming to the most famous big wall in the world, following in the footsteps of the people and the stories that I've read about my entire life, and trying to find my own kind of pinnacle experience within that.
Oh boy, free climbing on El Cap. It's just so free. The whole architecture of the rock is just so huge, and to think that we can actually grab the little grips and move up this just giant rock and this just beautiful thing. Any day you spend free climbing on El Cap is a day you're gonna remember.
Free climbing is not something that's contrary to being in wilderness. It takes a lot of checking in with yourself. Like, what am I putting in and what am I trying to get out of this experience?
It gets down to this idea of like why we climb El Cap. Is it for the experience, or is it just about getting to the top by whatever means?
Yeah, what a pitch. It's just something.
We made it to the Hall of Flake. Everything on El Cap is designated as wilderness. So the elevation line runs right along the toe of where the nose and Salathé and those lowest roots start. The space being wilderness or not is one thing, but it's undeniable that you're having wild experiences while you're up on El Cap. That alone is worth protecting.
The Wilderness Act was passed because members of the public, conservation organizations, felt like the land management agencies were not preserving wilderness character. The folks pushing for the Wilderness Act saw wilderness going away and said if we don't take positive steps to save these places, they're going to be developed. In Yosemite Valley, the wilderness boundary is at 4,200 feet. The floor of the valley's at 4,000. So once you're on the rock, you're almost always in wilderness, and if you're not, you will be after one pitch. And a lot of people have asked, why? Why are the walls wilderness? This plan came out that was going to have an aerial tramway going from the floor of the valley to Glacier Point and beyond up to Illilouette Ridge. Normally, wilderness does not include the airspace, but in this case, Congress said, we're making the boundary at 4,200 feet. And they said that specifically precludes the installation of aerial tramways, both the towers for the tramways and the wires going over the walls. If you don't protect these areas, they will be developed. And that was proven over and over again in my career.
When I first climbed El Cap, I was 18 years old. I got there and I said, this is what I want to do in my life. When we decided we wanted to try to free climb the Salathé in 1979, people weren't up there really free climbing. We knew we weren't going to be able to free climb the whole thing, and we didn't really care. We just thought, wow, this is going to be such a cool adventure just to go up there.
No matter what type of a life you live, you're gonna have some sort of like baseline status quo experience that you're having. And an adventure is something that like shakes it up, like puts you into a new space. That's where you're able to like explore parts of yourself and parts of the world that are different and forces you to rise. It's super special. Yeah, thanks.
I always like to say, if you're only thinking about wilderness as a place, you're getting it wrong. It's a place and a relationship. And if you look at the definition in the Wilderness Act, it's much more about relationship than it is about place.
Fun.
We're thinking about this now, but they were actually thinking about the exact same things on the first ascents of these walls.
$80-meter haul to there and come back down and then do the face climbing right. And
Okay.
Like protected. Sounds good.
Let's go check out that down climb. The cool thing about climbing is that no matter what your ability level is, there's some climb out there that is just that perfect amount of challenge without putting you over the edge into like an unsafe space. High crimp is really bad, but you're like palming on something good. Oh, yeah, just slipped off. Just feels greasy. Trying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You gotta try something different.
That's hard.
Come on, Jane.
I don't know how to get up here.
Alrighty.
Okay, give her hell.
I mean, obviously the goal is to go up there and free climb the route.
Down climbing is really weird.
How bizarre. Unable to do a pitch. It's frustrating. Frustrated. Oh, god damn it. That was closer.
Maybe I can try.
Wait, I gotta pull up fast before the sun comes. And it's hard to like keep in perspective of like, whoa, I'm actually in this amazing place. There's swifts flying everywhere, bats in the cracks, peregrines flying by, flowers growing up there. To be up in that much exposure and climbing like at your limit, it's so fun. You want that foot to stay. Okay, I'm done.
Myself and 3 are finished with day 3 of our wilderness travel plan break. We are out of service at the alcove on El Cap. Have a good evening.
I think for me the best moments have been about being humbled and then subsequently like overcoming some barrier. Because I think for anybody you show up and you're like, that wall looks so scary and so big and so impossible.
Slight underestimation of the vastness of the endeavor.
Totally. Now, like, I'm not gonna free climb Golden Gate, but there's a rad looking pitch right above me that I've never climbed before. And I guess here we go.
Yeah. Good. That's it.
My skin's ouchy. Those grips are not without tolls being taken.
Yeah.
We've seen these places change as more and more people are climbing, and you can't fault anyone for wanting to climb. But you should be aware of how that's playing in with the countless other climbers here, the countless other tourists here, the wildlife, the plants, like all of those factors. There's like a general human nature of wanting to make something more accessible to ourselves, like make it easier, make it faster, but we don't have to do that with everything. Free climbing on El Cap has exploded in popularity.
Everyone wants to come out of the gate, they want to come out of the gym, and they want to go climb El Cap.
It comes down to being a personal challenge, recognizing our individual impacts and trying to limit them, be it on the environment or on our fellow climbers. or other people here visiting the park. Recognizing our own small part in the puzzle and taking that on as wholeheartedly as we can.
Now we're up. Come on, you got it. Yeah.
I think we've all been pretty well watered and snacked.
Oh, potentially
Very
over.
well. So that feels pretty good. I just ate a whole pizza as well as like 2 days worth of my gummies, but I think it was worth it. So we can't really move camp past here. We've run into a little bit of a traffic jam, so our only option is to camp here. Maybe. Something funny's going on in this whole square there. Things that go bump in the night. Perhaps ends in beasts. Perhaps starting with R.
When we all leave.
We're topping out today, in theory. The logisticking continues. Hey, we can keep going to the top! Yeah!
That felt good. I was like, well, I'm still going. I may as well just keep going. I can give you even more. Really good.
You went up there and you go, yeah, we were on Freerider. We didn't free climb the whole thing, but we had a great old time. That's all that matters.
I can almost get to go.
To the top.
That dichotomy of El Cap wilderness with the amount of people who are on it, we've got to be sensitive to things where we normally wouldn't be sensitive.
Good job. That looked nails.
Where there's 10 parties on the nose, I'm affecting your ascent. I mean, just there's no way around it. As long as you don't, muck up somebody else's ascent, and as long as you don't muck up the rock, you're totally golden.
There's a lot of choices we make as climbers that can affect other people, that can affect the environment, and also affect our own experience. When you get to the top, how did you feel about it?
Wrestling with the idea of wilderness is very important, I think, to preserve the experience for future generations.
Maybe thinking about El Cap as not something that you're trying to tick off, like changing how you're thinking about it and like allowing that need to satisfy a goal to like slip away and just put yourself in that position where you have the opportunity to challenge yourself in that like really deep, meaningful way.
All the time I've been up there, belaying and the peregrines are flying by, all the sunsets, all the sunrises, the snow and clouds and smoke blowing through, all those moments that I remember. That's really why I do it. I love laying on the portaledge and half the sky is just black and the other half has got the stars in it. And you go, oh, tomorrow we're going up there in the black part. And you're just going, whoa, this is going to be cool. Holy moly.
We climbed Freerider over the course of 5 days.
First reclimb up El Cap.
It was a pretty wild adventure, man.